Hi, friends. This is a day of freedom for me, and I'm really excited actually to share this message that is on my heart with you. So first, I want to introduce myself. I've taken on a new name as I have gone through many transitions, and I'm coming into a space of healing and complete authenticity in my life right now. So my new name is actually Alicia Lee McMurdo. And some of you may know me by Coach Jen. Some of you may know me by Jennifer Alexander McMurdo. I'm coming now into a new space into my life of complete authenticity, and have chosen the name for myself of Alicia Lee McMurdo. So some of you, that will take a lot of time for you to get used to, and I totally understand that. But in this time in my life right now, it's really an honor and a reward for me to actually claim the name that is really mine, that I feel is really me, and that I actually feel that God gave to me. And so some of you may agree, some of you may not, some of you may understand and not understand, but it's really exciting for me coming into this space of authenticity and being able to choose a name that feels authentic to me. So moving on, today my message is dear to my heart, and it's been a part of my healing and of my journey, and I know it will speak to many of you, especially when I share this video on certain pages. And I'm asking you, as you listen, to just listen with an open heart and to understand that I am just sharing with you my experiences, some of the truths that I have come to that I feel to share that may spark an idea or a thought or something for you that may bring you into greater truth, greater light, greater healing, greater freedom. And that is my whole purpose. My whole purpose in what I do is to assist people, as I have myself and as I have been assisted, into coming into greater light, greater truth, greater freedom, and really stepping into living the most authentic life that we are meant to live, the most divine life that we are meant to live. So with that, I want to talk with you today about victimhood, about being, about experiencing being a victim, and now coming out of and choosing to come out of victimhood, and that mindset and that belief set, and understanding actually how I got myself actually in victimhood, kept myself in being a victim, what that created in my life, and now how coming out of that and what I am creating, and the power that's behind that. So some of you may have heard it before. I'm not going to be saying it very much anymore, because as you come to understand that we are creators in our lives, that we literally create so much of what is happening in our lives. We are attracting things to us. We are creating situations by our mindset, by the way we speak, and really by the way that we speak to ourselves and the way that we treat ourselves. All of those things attract, like attracts like, into our lives. And anyone that is familiar with universal laws and principles, you know what I am talking about. And anyone that is a scriptorian or of a religious sect, you will know that it is taught that like attracts like. It is something that Christ taught. It is something that most religious leaders, and especially those who are enlightened, will teach you, that like attracts like. And so with that premise, I want to talk with you about about victimhood. This has been a huge eye-opener for me, and I know that some of the things that I may say will trigger you, and you may disagree with what I am saying, and that is totally fine. Again, I am saying this is my journey, this is what I have come to. But over the last few months, I've come to the realization that a lot of the things that have happened to me in my life, which have put me in a place of being a victim of rape, a victim of domestic violence, that I actually had a part in creating those experiences. And I know for you right now, me saying that to you, and especially women that have gone through some of these same experiences, it will bring up so many feelings for you, and you may even be angry at me for saying that. So before you go down that road, please just listen to what I have to say, okay? Because it's really important coming out of a space of being a victim and stepping into your life and stepping into being empowered and being powerful in your life and being the creator of your life and taking responsibility for your life means that you need to be willing to admit your part in what you created, in what was created in your life, and what you experienced in your life. So what I mean by that, let me give you an example. So I'll just take the most recent. Even if you don't agree, I hope that you will come from a space of respect, because yes, I'm being very bold and I'm being very vulnerable, which takes a lot of courage. So let me share with you what I mean. I just recently got out of a marriage that was violent, and it turned into domestic violence. And I used that experience, and I used that excuse in a way to dismiss myself from my marriage. As I've come into a space of starting to heal, and as I've examined what was happening in my 14 years of marriage, and finally what brought me to the place of choosing to leave and dismiss myself from participating in the unkindness, in the violence, in all of these pieces, I have come to some profound understanding as I've looked and analyzed and tried to understand through the pain how I got to this place. There is a truth that has come to me that has been extremely profound and extremely healing for me, and empowering. And this is what I came to. I helped create that situation. Now, I'm not saying that I chose how my husband reacted. And I'm not taking responsibility for his reaction, but I am saying that I created part of that situation on my own. And let me explain. By not loving myself. And what I mean is, I look back on what was happening around that time, and I realize I was so self-critical. I would beat myself up in my own mind. I was never good enough. I was not doing things good enough. I was unhappy with myself. I was unhappy with my situation. And I remember saying things to him that would beat him up in a sense and be critical of him and all of these things. So notice I'm using the word beat myself up and beat him up. Now, what we create on the inside shows itself on the outside. When we have things come into our life that we don't like, or things that we don't understand, or things that we just don't, we need to be willing to look inside and say, what in me is creating this? And what I mean is, what beliefs, what self-talk, what thoughts are going on inside of me am I holding on to? What vibration, what frequency is happening in here that is attracting these things into my life? I literally attracted this domestic violence situation in my life because I allowed the beating up of myself over and over and over again in my life, to the point where then I just created it around me and I attracted those things to me. So it became my reality, because whatever we focus on over and over and over again, we create. And that is a true principle. And so, that is where the freedom is. When I realized that, when I was willing to take responsibility for my part in what happened, then life started to change for me, because I realized I didn't want to keep having this repeat in my life over and over again. So I am responsible for changing that pattern of being a victim, for the thought process of, oh, these horrible things happened to me. I don't have control over these horrible things. Oh, woe is me. Please help me. I'm helpless. And I started realizing that I could change that by the way that I started to love, by starting to love myself, and by the way that I was thinking about myself in my mind, and the way that I was feeling about myself in my heart. And being able to take ownership of that experience has been extreme. It has been painful, but it has been so freeing. So freeing. Because then I'm allowed to heal. I realize if I can create that, then what can I create on the other end? What kind of healing can I create for myself? What kind of life could I create for myself? And that is why I am talking to you and to those of us who have had experiences that have put us in a place of feeling like a victim, where we didn't have control over the situation. And again, please hear me. We don't have control over what another person does, but we do have control over what we are attracting into our lives and what kind of situations we are attracting into our lives. And when we understand that, we truly can break free of the victim cycle and step into being empowered and having accountability in our lives and being creators of our lives and healing and becoming authentic, because then we can truly start to love ourselves. And that is the answer. When I started to love myself, looking at what I created for myself, and then the chaos that it created in my children's lives, in my former husband's life, in my parents' lives, in my siblings' lives, but realizing that I was still that I'm learning and that I'm progressing, and stepping into loving myself through that, loving myself, admitting what I had done, being gentle and kind and loving, is what has come and brought me into a place of power in my life, and freedom, because I realize that no matter what is done to me, no matter what experience I have, there is a piece of that I created, that I have control over. And so now, yeah, you better believe that I'm putting all of my energy, all of my focus into loving myself, all the dark pieces, all the light pieces, all of the pieces that are learning, all of the pieces that are trying to understand and grow, and into the way I think and the way I speak, so that I'm creating the things that I really want. So there's a lot of you out there. I'm not going to put myself in that group anymore, because I don't need that identity. I don't need that identity in my life anymore. I am who I am. I am who I am. And it's very, very freeing when I realize I get to choose. I am strong. I am beautiful. I am divine. I am a creator, and that is who I am. And I don't have to take on the role of being a victim to get what I need in my life, to get the love that I need, to get the attention that I need, that I can let those experiences go. I can admit my part in that, and I can step into being empowered and creating the life that I want. So I just want to talk heart to heart with those of you who have been victims, or are victims, or feel that you are victims. I would love to work with you. I've created a group called Breaking the Chains That Bind You, Healing from Trauma and Abuse. And it's a support group, but it's probably like none that you've ever participated in. Because we'll come and we'll share once what our experience was, and then we will spend the rest of the time talking about what we want to create and how we created that experience, what thought processes, what beliefs got us there, so we can take personal accountability and be empowered, and then start to create the person that we want to be, and the life that we really want, and step into being empowered. So if you are interested in that, then please contact me or click the link below, wherever this is going to be posted, and let's have a real conversation. I know that some of you that listen to this might debunk everything I say, and you may think I'm crazy, and all of these things, but some of you will be ready to hear and want a change, and want to change your lives, and want to claim your lives back. So if that's you, then take this step. And before I end, I just want to say one last thing. When in circumstances where especially women are victims, I just want to let you know that both the perpetrator and the person that is getting hurt are both victims. They're both victims of their own self-hatred. They're both victims, of their own self-hatred, which leads to all of these kind of ugly actions that we do to one another. So my desire is to teach truth, to teach self-love, so that you can create something beautiful in your life, and come out of feeling powerless. So thanks for listening, guys, and I appreciate you. Those of you who may be squirming in your seats, or triggered, or feeling uncomfortable or angry, appreciate you taking the time to really just finish the whole message and listen to the very end. So I know that that's not easy, and I know that I shared some things that will really spark some thoughts. So anyways, thanks for listening. Bye.